Power rankings, baby. Power rankings. We're only going to be doing the top 10 teams going into week 1 in my eyes, with a few honorable mentions. We'll go down to 11 and down to 12 to talk about the two teams that didn't make the cut. And those two teams are the Denver Broncos and the Cincinnati Bengals. The reason being, Denver Broncos are still a young and up-and-coming team that I do think have the potential to make noise in the playoffs later on this year. But it's only week 1. A lot of these teams don't hit their stride until weeks 7 or 8. It takes a while. It takes a while to really figure yourself out as a team, as a unit. Sean Payton is doing a good job over there with Bo Nix, and they have a really good core of players and a great defense. I like what I see, but they cannot compete right this moment off of last year with teams like the Texans and teams like the Buccaneers. So, once they beat teams like that and they find themselves inching closer to the Kansas City Chiefs, the Detroit Lions, the Commanders, the Eagles, making their way up the ladder, then they'll rise the ranks. For right now, they're at 12. Bengals are 11 because they do have that playoff experience, but they haven't been there for a while because of the defense. But can we really use that defense as an excuse? Jalen Hurts in 2023 led an Eagles team with the 30 or 31st ranked defense. One of the worst in the league. Bottom 3 to an 11-6 record, collapse or not, playoff bound. Last year with the 28th ranked, Joe Burrow won 9 games and couldn't sniff the playoffs. What's the excuse? Joe Burrow had a bad defense. Jalen Hurts had to be better. Make up your minds. And I love Joe Burrow. I love the Bengals. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of hypocrisy, and I give the Bengals a lot of credit. But that's why they're at 11. That defense is a problem, but also I need to see everybody step up and make things happen when it matters most. At number 10, kind of controversial. I think the Texans could definitely have been here as well. LA Chargers, just off of the talent alone. They have a lot of talent. Jim Harbaugh is a great coach. But they need to show up when it matters most. And that's really holding them back, is when it matters, when it counts against the teams they need to get over. They can't get over. And number 9, they could have been a lot higher. I am high on this team, but they're not there right now because of injuries. The Los Angeles Rams, Matt Stafford's back injury. Puka Nacua gets injured every year. Can this team stay healthy? And if they do stay healthy with a really good defense and a really good core of offensive players, they can definitely compete for a championship. But right now, uncertainty. At number 8, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are the most solid squad in all of football. They can put up points. They can make stops on defense. They play aggressive. They play physical. Baker Mayfield is an underrated quarterback at the position, hands down. Easily top 10 in my mind. But overall, we got to see them beat teams that are right above them. The Commanders, the Lions, the Eagles, teams like that. Can they beat them when it matters most? Similar to the Chargers. We'll have to wait and see. But I do like what they have in Tampa for sure. Definitely got some championship pedigree, because they also recently won a championship, but still. At number 7, this one might ruffle some feathers, and I know I'm an Eagles fan. I did this as unbiased as I can, and I agree I could probably put them higher. Washington Commanders. You guys have a great core of players. There's no doubt in my mind. Jaden Daniels is the best player on your team. Right behind him is Terry McLaurin. I'm not denying you that. What I'm saying is that you have a lot of guys on your team that are older and don't have enough left in the tank past this year. Your window, I can't say is open just yet. You made it to a championship game last year. Would you have beaten the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? Who knows? There's no what ifs here. So I'm looking at it from the perspective of what my team is doing, what other teams have tried to do, is build for the future and build a team that can sustain that success. What the Kansas City Chiefs have done, what the Patriots of the 2010s and the 2000s have done. Young, talented rosters that find ways to win and keep building upon themselves. You guys did not, in my eyes, do enough to build upon your core of players. That's what puts you in at number 7. Jaden Daniels can only do so much, and Terry McLaurin can only do so much. When your defense allows 55 in a championship game and 31 in a divisional game, most of the time you add those two numbers up, you're not winning a game. And of course, you can't overlook the Buccaneers getting unlucky with the fumble and the luckiest field goal ever doinking in to give you guys the win. luck runs out, and it eventually did in the championship game, and it's going to happen this year. Mark my words, Commanders. At number 6, the Detroit Lions have stumbled down here simply because of coaching issues. They have a new offense and defensive coordinator, and I, very similarly to what I was doing just now with the Commanders, like to think of the 2023 Eagles as an example. The Lions this year are without Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn. They got new coordinators. They have new talent coming in as well, and returning talent from injury, of course. We understand, and they are a very talented bunch. But the 2023 Eagles were also a very talented bunch. And that team went from 10-1 to 11-6 due to ineptitude at the coaching positions that they tried to plug Band-Aids over a broken, cracked dam. Like, that water was coming out no matter what, and it took 12 games. It took 12 games for it to eventually, the bandage to eventually rip and let the flooding begin. San Francisco 49ers came to town, and they gave us the wake-up call we needed. Just when we were trying to plug it back up, the Dallas Cowboys did the same thing. Then the Seahawks, they did the same thing. Cardinals, Giants, then lo and behold, we're 11-6. The Lions could suffer a similar fate, but worse because of the quarterback. Jared Goff, we've seen in 2 moments. The divisional game against the Commanders, the Super Bowl against Tom Brady back in 2019, 2018. We've seen him stumble and fumble without the coaching and without the players around him making the plays necessary. He cannot lead a team to do it. And with the issues the Lions may have due to the potential of a 2023 Eagles collapse, very similar feeling I get. I don't know if Jared Goff can carry them like Hurts did in 2023 to a playoff appearance. I just don't. Now when the Packers got better, the Bears got better, the Vikings are still a good team. You got other teams over there like the Eagles and Commanders. Cowboys are no scrubs. Giants got better. There's so much in the conference alone. You don't even look at the AFC to see guys like the Broncos and Chargers coming up. And then the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. Can they beat all of these teams? I don't know. And that's what scares me with the Lions, despite their talent, and that's why they're at number 6. Number 5, short, sweet, and simple. Packers got Micah Parsons. They were already a solid enough team that could stand with anybody. They're at number 5 for that reason. They just got to get over the hump. Number 4, the Kansas City Chiefs stumble at this point because offensive line didn't get better. Their defense is still a little suspect in certain areas, but they do have Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes. They are without a couple of guys like Rashid Rice for a few weeks, so we'll see what happens there. They're at number 4 because you cannot overlook them no matter what. They have the championship mentality that defines them, that they know what it takes to win, and they are going to do that no matter what. Number 3, I got the Buffalo Bills. I think that speaks for itself. They are, with the reigning MVP, league MVP, very solid team. They just brought back Gabe Davis. They're going to be there. They're going to find ways to win and put up points and make things happen. They're at number 3 because they're not better than the top 2 rosters in the NFL. The Ravens and the Eagles. The Ravens got Lamar Jackson and the best roster in the AFC. The Eagles are the reigning Super Bowl champions and have the best and the youngest roster in the NFL. Two of the best teams right there. I don't think I would say that that's my Super Bowl pick, but those two you could definitely see in the Final 4. Let me know your thoughts and what are your power rankings. I'll see you all tomorrow with the breakdown of the Eagles and Cowboys Thursday night season opener. Adios.